Hi everyone, I'm Quentin Schultz, the author of the book An Essential Guide to Public Speaking. An Essential Guide to Public Speaking. Chapter 21. Wow. Speak through video. Speak through video. When I was talking with my publisher about this book, I said it has to include a chapter on speaking through video. You could say speaking with video, but I like to think of it as speaking through video. It's a medium. And he said, well, how popular is that? Will students, will executives, managers think it's important to know how to do a public presentation through video? They didn't know what was going on. And that was not that long ago. Now you think of it like with interviews for jobs and how many are being done through video. You think of TED Talks, the phenomenon of TED Talks, videotaping public speakers and having millions of people watch those videos. Video is a very important medium, and a lot of so-called public speaking is going through video now. And I think to be servant speakers, to be speakers who serve audiences, we have to recognize that more and more our audiences will be video audiences. They will be watching us individually in small groups or maybe larger groups on screens. And we have to know how to do our public speaking, our presentations, through a medium that ends up on a screen of whatever size. Now, even in shooting these videos, I thought to myself, I'm going to do them in a way that's good for viewing them on a phone. I'm not going to assume they're going to be used in a classroom and projected large, because so much of the viewing now happens on individual devices, as they call them. So taking that very much into account. So I want to talk with you about some of the principles of speaking through video. We've developed them in the book quite well. I say we. Kathy Sindorf, a communication professor, wrote, and I helped edit, and we really collaborated on the chapter. It's a marvelous chapter because it lays out some of the rules for different situations. And it will help you a lot to look at those situations and match them to your speaking situation. Then you know what to do, how to set it up, what will look good, what will communicate well. So speaking through video. We look at three common situations with video. To the best of my knowledge, no one else has done this in another book on public speaking, set it up like this. So I can't put you onto other sources beyond this one chapter, but it is important to consider these three. Personal video. By that I mean usually one-on-one. I'll go back to the example of doing an interview for a job. One-on-one, personal video, very important today, growing in importance. So here we go. I'm going to move in a little bit. Now, right there, that's about right for personal video. So if I were on with you doing a job interview, I've got this thing off to the side. I'm going to center myself a little bit here. This would be about right. And I want some good audio. I may have to use an external mic, but it's got to be personal. And if they're watching me on a small device, then they need to see me fairly clearly and my facial expressions and so forth. So I need to get fairly close up. Personal video. More and more of our communication, including our presentations, is going to be personal video, even if we're presenting to a large group, but the group is, as individuals, dispersed in different locations. Think of webinars. A lot of webinars are this way. Personal video, meeting video. So you know what this is like. You go into a room, I'm backing up here a little bit. You go into a room, and in that room, there is an individual or a group doing a presentation, and you wonder how to shoot that. How do you shoot that, and how do you present for it? So most of the action there is going to be from about the waist up over the top of the head. Maybe a little bit lower than the waist if there's a lectern and the lectern is shot. So upper body movement is very, very important. When I've been shooting these, a little bit closer, a little bit tighter. I've been doing most of my stuff here. When I'm doing a meeting type presentation, I'm a little more outstretched, and I'm assuming I've got a little bit more video real estate to work with. Thinking about a meeting room here, a meeting room. Stage. So here we get into TED Talks. A stage video is where you have an individual on a stage and they're being shot often with multiple cameras. And now more of the body comes into play. It's usually from about the waist up, like with a meeting room video, but also establishing, so-called establishing shots that show the whole person standing there on the stage and maybe walking around. And typically they will be shown where on the stage are one or two locations that they should be at. So they may be able to move from one location to another if it's marked, and then the cameras will follow them, or they'll have several different cameras. So it's a little bit further back even than the meeting video. These need to be mic'd differently with sound. They need to be lit differently, and we talk about that in the book. The key is understanding the situation we're in and fitting one of these with the situation so we know how to set it up properly so it's the most effective form of video. Now there's a basic rule about doing video, and I first learned this rule in the 1980s when I was doing film and video reviews on a major market TV station. And so I would go there into the studio and they would have some clips to show, and I would do, I think it was maybe 2 to 3 minute critique of these films and new TV shows that were coming out. And the producer called me aside one day and he said, you know, there's a rule you need to follow here when you're on TV, and that is you want to be natural. Don't come across as forced, you know, like you're doing too much and you're really trying to make things happen. It's got to be you. It's got to be natural. But then he said, it's got to be natural plus. There's the plus. Natural plus. And I discovered over the years that was really wise. So as I present to you, I'm presenting the way I am. This is the way I talk. But I am adding to the expressiveness a bit. So it's not exactly like if you were in a conversation with me. It's not exactly like as if you were in a conversation with me. This would be the conversation. It's a little more emphasis. It's natural plus. And regardless of the meeting situation, regardless of how the audience is set up, how they're viewing us, natural plus is important in each of these different styles. So there you have it. There's a lot more to cover that's in the chapter that I couldn't get to, but I want to give you an outline of the principles that we're working with here. We speak through video. It's a medium. It's a medium, and we speak through it. And sometimes it's very personal. It's up close, like we're doing an interview. Sometimes it's a meeting situation, maybe even with more people. And we're going to be shot from about the waist up, maybe a little bit lower. And we can use our full body a little bit more, though we don't want to walk around. And then there are those stage situations where, depending on what the director, the people who are shooting us, are they using one camera, multiple cameras? Can we move around? Do we have to stay in one spot according to their directions? We become a little more animated. So it's natural, but up a little bit, the plus for the situation. When it comes to video, select the right situation and then be natural plus. That will serve you well. Thank you.